But what was amazing was how calm you were, how positive you seemed to stay, especially because, you know, we live in this culture, this society where babies are put on a schedule to arrive at a certain time. So I would love to hear your story. I'd love to hear a bit more about how you felt as well, like coming in past your due date, and if you were like, if there was any feelings coming up for you and how you dealt with them, etc. So.
Yeah, I think so the due date came and went and I was like, oh, I'm not bothered about it, it's fine. And then when it does come, it's like, oh, well, this is the date that like instantly it's in your head.
Yeah.
And then I was fine for like the first week, and then the second week was okay. And then I think I had a sweep, and that's when I had a bit of a breakdown. Like, it's just not happening. I think for me, it was because at 42 weeks, they strongly advised not having a home birth.
Yeah.
So that for me was my worry. But yeah, I'd also listened to a lot of birth stories as well, and stopped looking at social media for a few days and just completely cut my phone off and stopped speaking to people as well, because I kept getting messages from people. And at first it was like I was replying, and then I just stopped. I said, this,
Yeah.
I need to get in my own head.
Yeah,
And
and it does start to increase your anxiety. It's like you feel like a social pressure of like, oh my God, to have your baby, doesn't it?
it's weird, yeah. Like even though you like try not to, you do. It's just instant. I think, like you say, it's the society we live in. It's like
And you're
everyone.
only human. You're only human. We're all products of it. We're just human. So we do have, as positive, as confident as you are, there's always that fear, because childbirth is something you just never know how it's going to go, you know?
Yeah, yeah, that's it. Yeah, but yeah. So I had a little bit of a breakdown, but then I kind of pulled myself together, and I was like, no, this is it. It's going to happen. It's going to be fine. And it's that baby will come when baby is ready, isn't it? So yeah, it was okay.
Amazing. Amazing, amazing. Was there anything in particular you did, like you found any like coping mechanisms, like towards the end, the last few days that you felt helped you particularly?
Yeah, I would say not looking at my phone at all.
Yeah,
So I said
yeah,
to my mum, if you need me, get in touch with my partner. And then I just kept my phone upstairs and didn't look at it for like 3 or 4 days. And just,
brilliant.
yeah, that for me was amazing. It's not even looking at social media, it's like getting messages from people and stuff. And I know it's that people care. It's just, I don't know, like you feel like you need to reply, and I know that my friends would not care if I didn't reply, but it's just that pressure you put on yourself. So
Absolutely.
yeah, I think just don't look at your phone.
Mhm. And
Yeah,
people are only human, so they're excited, and people can say things that are inadvertently insensitive. And
yeah,
because you are in this heightened state of
hmm,
sensitivity and receptivity, because you're like literally about to do something massive, um, you can take in that energy, and sometimes it can get processed like sort of the wrong way and can affect you.
yeah, yeah. That for me was like, that's the best advice I can give. It's just take away all kind of distractions, I think.
Absolutely. Brilliant. Okay, so, and then something happened. You went and had a baby, a home birth.
I did. So we had an early labour. So I had an early labour at 41 plus 3. So on the Wednesday, Thursday, my contractions started, and they were very mild. But I thought that was it. So we put the pool up and we got ready, and then nothing happened, and then nothing happened again. Then I had a sweep on the Friday, and that's when they said to me I needed to have a pessary. No, they advised that I have a pessary, sorry. And I didn't want to be induced, but she said that I was so, like, my cervix was soft, I was about 2 centimeters. She said everything is like good to go, but you just need a little boost.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we went in for the pessary on the Sunday, which was 13 days past the due date. So yeah, went in for the pessary, came home, and then it was just like bang, and
Yeah.
that it definitely gave us a bit of a boost, maybe too much, but yeah,
Or
then
did you find it quite intense?
yeah, it was so intense. It was like I can't even describe how intense it was. I knew it was going to be intense, but there was a point where we called the midwife and she said just take the pessary out because I was getting contractions like I think up 4 or 5 in 10 minutes. So it was like
Yeah.
really, really
So
strong.
one of the risks, so everything has its pros and its cons, and
Yeah.
one of the risks of the pessary is the overstimulation. I think it's so good that you took it out when you did, or you trusted yourself, or the midwife had that intuition to say,
Yeah.
okay, it's done its job. Let's
Yeah.
take it out now, because you don't need that. That could have sent it in a direction where it got too intense.
It
But
was so intense. Yeah. I mean, I would have taken it out earlier, but the first midwife said, in the triage, she said, leave it in for a little bit longer. But yeah, it's mad because they don't tell you that really. They say like it can happen and it can't. And we thought it wasn't a bit of a false start again. Like again, we didn't
yeah.
contact anyone to say it was happening because because of what happened on Wednesday and Thursday, we were like, well, it might be a false start, and then it
Mm-hmm.
definitely wasn't. And
Yeah.
yeah, and then I was just we got the yoga mat out, and then I was just on my hands and knees for the first part of it, doing all the yoga that you've been teaching us, basically. Just like rocking my hips, swaying my hips for the contractions. I mean, they were coming so hard and fast. And then the midwife came at 12, and then I got some gas and air, and that calmed me right down. And then I sat on the ball next to the pool in that picture I sent you, and I was in that position until I got into the pool. And then when I was in the pool, I was locked into a yogi squat. Like I could not get out of that position. It was
Yeah.
just, that's what my body wanted to do. And it was
Amazing.
incredible. And yeah, so I was in that position until the baby came, basically. And the contractions were hard, but I just loved the pushing. I thought it was just incredible how your body can just go into this, like, go from hard intense contractions to like, no, this is the time the baby's coming out, and it's like you could just convulse and push, don't you, but automatically. And it just felt amazing. And then when the head came out, it was just, my partner said, like, my face was just so happy. It was just like absolutely incredible. And then I was like, I can feel the head. And then I felt him like wriggling like that and getting in position. And then he just came out, and I picked him up, and yeah.
Amazing. Oh, that is beautiful. Beautiful. Um, did you find it easy? Like, how did you find breathing through the contractions? Did you find you were able to breathe
Yeah,
through them?
yeah.
Yeah.
So we read the Siobhan Miller hypnobirthing book,
Mm-hmm.
and she spoke a lot of, well, I guess hypnobirthing is about making sure you're in the green zone, not teetering into the orange, like into the red zone. And there was a couple of times where I definitely went into red, like
Mm-hmm.
tiny bit into the red, but I was just telling myself don't lose control. And like that's what I didn't do. As long as I didn't lose control, I knew that I could
Yeah. So you
do it.
didn't let yourself, basically, like, it's like you can go down this road could fork, and you can let yourself get carried down that road of panic and adrenaline. And it's like, I usually recommend the breathing and the breathing and the affirmations, and like that sense of like all the stuff you've been practicing throughout your pregnancy to bring you back on the path to go down that road where you have your positive birth.
Yeah.
Um,
My partner Paul, he was there's a chapter in the book about like the role of the birth partner, and
yeah.
he's been watching a lot of positive birth stories, and like he's been really involved, and he was watching out for those signals, and he was making sure that I didn't go into the red, and he was just like really, really supportive the whole way, and he definitely brought me back down to green. And then there was this stage where you just like, I don't know if it's like euphoria or you're completely out of like going into any sort of orange or red zone. You're just in the green, and it's just like, I don't know, you just go into the zone, don't you? And it's that's
And
the
was that when you were about to have your baby? Was that when you?
that's when I got in the pool. So I got in the pool. So the contractions got really intense at 10. The midwife came at 12, and then I got into the pool at about 1:30. And that feeling of getting into the pool is just incredible. The whole body's like, it's just so good.
It's instant pain relief, isn't it?
It's amazing.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then, so then he was born 2 hours after. So he was born at 3:30. I got in the pool about 1:30. So for those 2 hours, I was just in this zone,
Amazing.
which was really nice.
Oh my God. And your midwife was there?
Yeah,
Was
so
it
we had
one or two midwives?
two. It was Lisa and Emma. I don't know if you know either of them.
I think I might know who Emma is, but I have to, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
And so the midwives were there and your birth partner was there. Was that your team?
yeah, that was it. Yeah.
And was there anything more that they were doing to help you, to support you? Like any?
They were just there. Like there was a couple of times, like I say, where I felt like I was losing control, and
Yeah.
I'd kind of breathe the gas and air a bit much like you're doing a balloon or something. I was like, and then they told me to stop and like breathe properly. But yeah,
Yeah.
they were just there. They weren't interfering or they were
Brilliant.
amazing. So
Yeah. And what about your birth partner? Was there anything in particular? Because many positive birth stories and hypnobirthing in particular, many women say it's the birth partner. It is so crucial. Their role is so crucial in achieving that birth. And it's so nice for people to hear, like, because when I work with couples, the partners are often surprised at how much attention I give them and how much I'm talking to them. Right, they think, oh, this is for her, right? No, I'm talking to them a lot because they have such a massive role in supporting. And even if and it's not necessarily that doing factor, sometimes it's just being calm themselves and being available and open and present themselves.
yeah, 100%. That's everything that Paul was. He was really up for a home birth right from the start, which was really helpful.
Yeah.
And he read a lot about, his role, and he got the room all nice, and we like practiced what we were going to do before. He had water for me. He was rubbing my back. He was just there the whole time, which was really, really good. And it was even good for the midwives. He's like, "Do you want a cup of tea?" It's just like halfway through having a baby, but it was, and he made them tea. It was just like it was just perfect. He was really, really supportive, and yeah, I think from the start, I think it definitely just get your partner involved as much as possible if they can. And the stuff that you did as well for the yoga, we had a session with partners, and I thought that was really good because there's small things that Paul could do then, like
Mm-hmm.
I was on my hands and knees, like massaging my back, just little tips that you showed us, really helpful as well.
Oh.
He wrote like a list of things he needed to do, so he kind of just got that out. And yeah, the hypnobirthing stuff as well, I thought he was really like,
And was there one particular breathing that you used? Was there one breath that you used, or did you alternate with the different breaths, or was there anything you found particularly helped?
I was just breathing in for probably about 8. I didn't count or anything. I was just breathing in for as long as possible and breathing out for as long as possible. um this is so helpful. But at the start, I did think, with those contractions, I did think I wasn't going to be able to do it.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
you just breathe through it, don't you? It's like that's the only thing you can do is just breathe. Because there's no
absolutely.
way I was going to be able to go to the hospital or get any more pain relief or anything. And it was just, as soon as the midwife came, that was for me, a switch in my head was like, okay, now I can calm down a bit and just
Yeah,
breathe. That's all
yeah,
that you can do is breathe, get in a
amazing,
good position.
amazing. What about the third stage of labor, so the placenta delivery? How did that go?
And that was fine. I had the injection.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we were in the pool for a bit with Remy, and we just had like I think it was probably about 5 minutes in the pool with him. It felt like quite a long time. It was really magical, like that moment. And then we slowly got out, and the midwives were great. They put down like mats, and we got a shower curtain all on the sofa, so they made a really comfy space for me. And they put the injection in, and she just kind of just pulled it out. It wasn't anything bad,
Brilliant.
but he had pooed inside his sack. So luckily, again, if we'd gone to the hospital, I don't think we would have been able to be in the pool. At least I think
Mm-hmm.
that, because they don't let you if you've got poo inside. But it was a bit gritty, but
Yeah. So a home birth, so one of the like pluses of a home birth is it does reduce your chances of intervention.
100%, yeah.
Because sometimes you just have to wait things out and see how they're going to go. And oh my God, amazing. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to ask you.
I was going
Uh,
to say about the burn. I don't know if like you've obviously heard this, but a really good advice I got from a friend of mine. She says, when you're in that pushing stage, you can feel the burn, like it's like a ring of fire or something. And honestly, and she said, when you feel that, that's when the head's coming out. And when I felt that, it was like I got so excited because I was like, I can feel the burn. It means the head's coming out.
yeah, so instead of being afraid of it, like, oh my God, the ring, because a lot of people don't like that term, the ring of fire, because it is a bit, oh my God.
Yeah,
But for want of a better term.
head's coming. It's great. The burn. It's weird.
So
But
it goes to show how language is so subjective, isn't it? Because, for hypnobirthing, we say surges, there's so many things we say to make it. But sometimes it's quite nice to feel that power in your language, the bird, let's get this baby.
yeah, it's coming. Yeah.
Did you feel that you were actively pushing, or just like you couldn't help it, or your body was pushing for you, or what
I
did
felt
you
like
feel
my
that?
body was pushing, but I gave a push as well.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, it's just our bodies are,
Instinctive.
yeah, it's crazy how, you have a breath, the contraction comes, and then you just breathe in, and then you push, and you can feel it all happening, and it's like,
Yeah.
it's amazing. Yeah. I love it.
Wow. I believe I genuinely believe that birth, and from a yoga perspective, birth is an amazing moment, an opportunity for transformation in a woman's life. And it sounds like you went through all the energy bodies and you truly felt and you were truly present. And that is just an incredible moment, an incredible experience. I don't think you'll ever be the same again.
But obviously, there was times where I did think I couldn't do it, but then you
Yeah.
get past it, don't you? And it
Mm-hmm.
was painful, like those contractions at the start. But then the midwife said after the pessary, she was like, "Oh yeah, pessary contractions." Oh, and I was like, "Why did no one tell me this?"
Yeah, so that it's good to hear that from you. That sometimes women or birthers feel as though they weren't quite prepared for it, and sometimes it's good because sometimes if you expected it to be really painful, you might have gone into it with a bit more fear. So who knows? Who knows what
I
But in the end,
expected, but not that much. Like
what's
that,
that?
I expected pain, but those like the start, that was
Well,
painful.
I think within any sort of induction, what happens is I don't know if the final surges are any more painful than they would have been, but what happens is your body doesn't do it gradually and gradually build up. So it goes from 0 to 10 instead of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So by the time you reach 10, at least, even though it's intense, you've kind of built up that resistance, that resilience. So um, well done you. Like I've experienced that too with the exact same, with the pessary,
Yeah.
working very very quickly, and I know it's very very intense. So amazing, and amazing for people to hear that you can have induction and go on to have a positive birth experience. There's not just black or white. There's not just one way to have a home birth or a positive birth or empowered birth. You every step of the way you just trusted, you followed your instinct, and I think you did really amazing. So the last thing I wanted to ask you, unless there's anything else about birth itself, is your postnatal period so far, because I know pregnancy is one thing, we get a lot of attention and we feel like we're glowing, and then there's so much optimism and positivity, and the postnatal period can sometimes feel a bit like a crash. And now that we're here, we've spent so long preparing for birth, the birth comes and it goes, and then we have this baby.
Yeah. This baby on cue.
On cue. Hello. I hope you recognize my voice. Oh, look at baby. I'm cute. So how many weeks is baby now? Oh,
3 weeks on Monday.
okay. And how has the postnatal period been for you so far?
So I would say that in my first week, because I had such a positive birth, I felt like Superwoman. I was like up and about, and then like on day 2 I was walking to the allotment, and I really felt like I could do anything. And then stupid, like, even I look back and think, could I tell myself anything different? Like, could I have done it differently? And I still think I would have done that.
Yeah.
But week 2 I crashed massively, and it was emotional, and it all got a bit too much, and I got mastitis, and I was really run down. And but I'd spoken to a lot of people. I've got quite a lot of support, which is really good.
Okay.
But yeah, if I could have done, like, if I did it again, I probably still would have done exactly the same. Like, I would say, don't do it, try not to do anything. But I think if it's such an incredible thing that you go through, and you just think that you can, like,
Absolutely, it's on a high, and I think it's good to acknowledge that high and to experience it and to ride that wave. But it's good to have that awareness that, okay, this is just a wave, and your body has been through something massive, and it's like when people run a marathon, and then at the beginning they're just so excited if you want to race or something, and then eventually you need a rest. But so are you managing to get that rest? And
I am now, yeah. So after week 2, I did a couple of days of just not going out and resting. Hello. And then this week I've just chilled. I've not gone out really at all. People have come over to see me.
lovely.
But I've come to the realization that he's going to be here for a very long time. So even though I want to show him off, like, people will see him eventually. But this time is really important. So
absolutely. Oh my gosh, how cute! You're so cute. Hello, little Bobby Wubby. And what did you do with the placenta? Did you do anything?
no, she took it away. Now I think about it, because the midwife said that she put it under a rose bush, and I thought that was something.
Did she do that?
Yeah.
What's the midwife's name?
She's Emma.
Emma. Oh, I have to find out who she is. That is amazing. I'm so glad she did that.
Yeah, so I think if we did it again, I would do that. But I think, yeah, I just hadn't really thought that far ahead. So
yeah. Well, there's so much to think about, isn't there? And then you look back but oh my God, sounds perfect and amazing. And I'm glad you're doing well. And are you managing to eat properly? Do you feel like you're getting well fed? And you said you have your mum around and your partner.
Yeah, which is good.
Wonderful. Well, I think that is a beautiful birth story. There's so many things to take from it. Like I said, coming up to that 42 weeks, so it can create so much anxiety.
I think trusting yourself as well. Like, it's harder to say than do. Like, I definitely had a bit of a meltdown, but kind of brought myself back into the zone. Just ignored everyone and everything, and just focused on myself, really.
Yeah. And finally, and like, just on a whole, because obviously I met you through pregnancy yoga, what would you say pregnancy yoga, coming to it regular, did that contribute to you in your
yeah, like, the fact that you practice hypnobirthing as well, and there's so many things with your yoga, like the chanting, and just your breathing as well, all the moves, and your positive attitude, I think, is really, really great. And I think, like, the session is a really good amount of time as well, because we get to chat, and then you really focus on the breathing, which is great, not just the yoga moves. So yeah, I really, really highly recommend it.
Thank you so much. That's so good to hear. Well, I'm gonna stop the recording now.
Okay.